Again, we're speaking with Congressman McCaul of Texas. I wonder if just shift a little bit, because as somebody who's worked a lot in Congress on international threats and Homeland Security Committee, I want to ask you about the visit to Guantanamo. Attorney General Eric Holder was there. You, I guess, went on the day trip down there. Give us a sense of what you were after and what the result was.
Well, this is the first congressional delegation to go down since the president signed the executive order to shut down Guantanamo. And we wanted to see firsthand what the conditions are like. You know, there's allegations of torture and so forth. We say first it was a very chilling experience to see these 250 detainees, including top al-Qaeda leadership, people like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who was a mastermind of 9/11. When you look at somebody like that, it is an eerie feeling. You know, and the Attorney General was down there. The Pentagon just came out with a report at the request of the Obama administration saying that Guantanamo was in compliance with the Geneva Convention, that there's no evidence of torture or waterboarding had never taken place at the facility. I'm a former federal prosecutor. This is a better facility, detention facility, than any federal prison I've seen in the United States. And the health care provided to them is better than the average American gets, and they get out of their cells, I think, 7 hours a day. They're allowed to run around in this recreation area. I don't quite understand why, when we spent so much money building this facility, why it needs to be shut down. I think there are a lot of false allegations of mistreatment. We didn't see any of that. And I think the best thing to do is, remember, these are not some ragtag team of of losers down there. These are very dangerous people, and they're terrorists, and they perpetrated 9/11. And it seems to me that at all costs they should not be brought onto U.S. soil or brought in front of a federal district court where the rules of evidence may very well result in them being released on the streets.
There's no question that some of those people there are terrorists, but there seems to be a lack of certainty that every one of them is a terrorist and a threat, and indeed might even be guilty. There have been some questions about some people who might have mistakenly been put behind bars, and I guess the question is, how do you find that out?
Well, remember, there have been probably 800 people that have been sent to Guantanamo. Most of them have been either returned or released. Actually, 60 were captured on the battlefield after they were released, were captured on the battlefield in Afghanistan fighting our soldiers again. We have kind of whittled it down to the worst of the worst now. And it's about 241 of these individuals. The top 16 al-Qaeda leaders who perpetrated 9/11 are down there. These are bad guys. And the problem is going to be, again, as you point out, I think, is if they get into a federal court in the United States, the federal rules of evidence may not allow maybe some of these confessions, or the intelligence that was gathered may not be admissible.
Or you don't want to reveal sources, and because of security reasons, you don't want to tell where you're getting your information from.
That's right. Reveal sources, methods, NSA programs, that sort of thing. So it's very likely that they would get released. I think, again, trying to get their home countries to take them back would be one route, but I don't think that a lot of these countries want them back. That's why they're still in Guantanamo. I think we need to proceed with these military tribunals. Many of these individuals have filed their habeas corpus writs of petition, so in fact, just about all of them have. So their cases are up on appeal right now in the federal courts. When that comes back down, then the military trials can proceed, and that's the route that this was all going towards. Now that the president, I think, to be politically correct, now has decided that we need to shut down this detention center, and I think it's a big mistake.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is going to happen, but it's good to know that there is at least more than just Democrats making this trip down there. So we appreciate you spending time with us this morning, Congressman. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you, Tim. I appreciate it.
Okay, that is Representative McCaul from Texas, and you can bet this is just the beginning of this conversation, although the president has called for the closure of the detention facility.